Welcome to the Faith and Business Podcast. I am your host, Elle Edwards. I'm founder of the Faith and Business Playground, and I'm here with Bible-friendly brain gymnastics and mentoring on this podcast to help you embrace your inner weirdo so that you can choose happy every single day without first having to make a whole bunch of changes. Why? So that we can reclaim what it means to be Christian in the 21st century. Empower this world with Jesus' love. That's my ultimate goal. And I do that by helping you be happy. Because if you are happy and contented and joyful most of the time, day to day, so full to the top with God's love, it can't help but infuse out into the world around you. So there you know what my ulterior motive is from the get-go. Now, all this week in the podcast, we are thinking about those times when life feels a bit difficult. If you listened along all week, you'll have heard me share on Monday. I shared with you that actually this was motivated by quite a tricky couple of weeks. And all the tools that I'm sharing with you this week are actually what I did in the space of a very small amount of time, in the space of about half an hour. So it works. I don't bring you anything that I haven't played with myself. What I would say as well, you are an individual. You are made in God's image. You are made to be you. And one of my things is about helping you take these things and apply them in a way that serves you and honors the person that you are. So this feels like a really appropriate moment to say, if you ever have a time where you try this stuff out and it doesn't quite work the way you hoped it was, come over to faithandbusinessplayground.com. Come and join us in the playground, because then actually we can talk about it. I'm an ideas generator. I'm not actually a generator. I'm a human being. But like ideas bubble out of me. It's one of the gifts that God gave me. And so we can have a conversation in one of our weekly get-togethers and talk about the stuff that you tried. And if you've tried something, we can tweak it. So it really is a very practical, hands-on way. And I love doing the podcast, but I don't want you to think that, you listen to this or you watch this and then you're done, that you're left unsupported. That isn't the case. So that's my little plug for the playground, faithandbusinessplayground.com. However, today we're going to talk about one of my very, very favorite tools ever. We're going to talk about redirecting your thinking. I'm going to share with you a Bible verse that I share all the time. Like not literally all the time, but a lot of the time. It's Philippians chapter 4 and it's verse 8. And this is Paul writing to the Philippians. But remember, he's writing to you too because it's in the Bible. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Now then, I maintain that God wrote the book on personal development. I've said it lots of times. This is one of those verses that backs it up. Because what he's really talking about there and what he's tapping into, he wouldn't have known it at the time. There's a part of your brain at the back here, which, sing it with me, is called the reticular activating system. If you're brand new to this, you will not have heard it before. However, long-time listeners will have heard me bang on about this many, many times. The reticular activating system does lots of really cool stuff. It filters your temperature, it regulates your temperature, amongst other things. But it also acts as a filter. Now, my analogy for this is the Facebook algorithm. You know how on Facebook, if you think about maybe there's a political thing going on and you find yourself interacting with posts and all of a sudden your news feed is filled with very similar things. Or take it to the other extreme, if you're somebody who likes cat videos and unicorn memes and photographs of people falling over and you like them and you comment on them and you interact with them, Facebook will start showing you more of that stuff. Now, I think that Facebook really is actually copying your brain, the science behind how your brain works, because it's filtering. If Facebook was to show you every single thing posted by every page, group, person, vague contact that you follow or like on the platform, you go mental. You couldn't actually consume all of it. It would be too much. So instead, Facebook filters the things that it thinks you like, the things it thinks are important to you. How does it know what's important to you? It's the things that you like on, comment on, interact with. And the same with your brain. Your brain did it first, incidentally. God invented your brain. He made your brain. So God did it first. But that's what it's talking about in this verse. So your brain will filter in the things it deems important. If you've ever had a conversation with somebody and they've said something and you've said, but I didn't say that, I said, do. And they said, no, you didn't. And if you've ever had a conversation, it's really frustrating, where you hear somebody heard you speak and they've actually heard something completely different to what you said or completely different to what you intended. That's all thanks to the reticular activating system. Your brain wants to prove you right. And so it quite literally will rewrite the way that you see the world so that the stories that you tell yourself are true. Now, how this ties into Philippians, I'm gesturing down there because my phone, how this ties into Philippians is that Paul is telling us, I'll read it again. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Paul is reminding us and telling us to think lovely thoughts, in other words. And so if you're having a difficult week or a difficult moment in an otherwise lovely day or a difficult time, the next tool I have for you, or the next tip I have for you as part of this mini-series, is to start redirecting your thinking. Now, it's really hard to redirect your thinking straight away. That's why the first bit of this, 2 days ago, I encouraged you to have a conversation with somebody, to reach out, to realize you're not doing this on your own, but actually to talk to somebody. And then if you're feeling physically depleted, it's also really hard to think lovely thoughts. So that's why yesterday we talked about reminding you to get enough sleep. But now, having had a conversation, and that actual conversation with somebody else will help realign and help you get straight in your mind. Sometimes we think we're going completely crazy and we think it's just us, and we think that actually these things that people are saying about us, well, they must be true. You have a conversation with somebody else and you tell them what happened. They're like, no, look, let's get some perspective. That's really helpful. You make sure you get enough sleep. You make sure you're physically energized, and then you redirect your thinking. And that's the whole purpose of this one. Okay, so whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, praiseworthy, excellent, think about such things. Now, this is the point where I want to remind you to go out for a walk. It's my favorite thing, one of my favorite ways to do this. I haven't actually done it today. Shared this podcast instead, but actually I love doing the podcast. So for me, this is also admirable and lovely and all that sort of stuff. But whatever those things are for you that you find delightful, right? Those are the things that I want you to then focus on. Now, really, the real work on this needs to be done before you're having a horrible day. So if you're having a really good day today, excellent. This is the perfect time to start preparing for those not stellar moments in days. You want to start thinking about, what are my go-to resources? What are those things that make me smile? What are those things that I think are lovely, pure, and admirable? Start collecting those reminders around you, because then on those times when you're having a difficult moment, you've got them to hand ready. And the more that you practice looking for those lovely things, the more you practice seeing them, your brain will decide that's important, and it will filter those things in. And so it becomes easier to see them. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's the reason why if you're having a bad day, things can almost feel like they're spiraling, getting worse and worse and worse. No, flick it. If you spill your coffee tomorrow morning, instead of saying to yourself, oh no, that's the day ruined, don't do that. Instead, you say, oops-a-daisy, that was a bit rubbish. The day can only get better from here. And your brain will make it true. And I know if you're listening to this or watching this, you think that's bonkers. Trust me, it's the way your brain is wired, thanks to our amazing God. Give it a try for yourself. But like I said earlier on in the episode as well, if you try these things and they don't work, come on over to the playground. Let's talk about how we can tweak them and make them work for you. Because I've got loads, that's why it's called the playground. It's about experimentation, trying stuff out, playing with things, that sense of fun and lightness. It's not meant to be gloomy and difficult. So give it a go. And if you need some help, come to the playground, faithandbusinessplayground.com. In the meantime, thank you for being here. I'll be back tomorrow with the final episode in this mini-series. Take care. Bye-bye.